This is King of the Ring Boxing, and I'll be analysing Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. Andy Ruiz Jr. stops Anthony Joshua in the seventh round of their fight in the early hours of this morning. The boxing world is in shock. Um, I really feel like AJ was humiliated, and anyone saying that it was a premature stoppage is lying to themselves. Think the ref gave Anthony multiple chances to recover and get back into the fight. Um, in my view, if AJ was the opponent here and Ruiz was the champion, this fight would have stopped in round three after the second knockdown. You could see that AJ was out on his feet, um, even when he got up off the canvas. Um, he never really got his legs back under him throughout the whole fight. But yeah, I think Ruiz absolutely humiliated him. Joshua has been exposed here. There's no two ways about it. The blueprint for this fight was actually laid down in the Dimitrenko fight that Ruiz Jr. had. Dimitrenko has similar dimensions to Anthony Joshua in his height and his physicality. Usually Joshua would also, Dimitrenko would fight in a similar style to Joshua, this European Klitschko style. However, for some reason last night, Joshua changed his style. He was dropping the lead hand. He was trying to fight in a more fluid manner, but he's not Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is a very unique heavyweight. He's almost like an old school fighter in the new era. Joshua does not have that skill set to pull that off, and this played into Ruiz's hands because it just left Joshua open for the attacks. Whereas Fury can defend by using his head movement and avoiding getting hit. Joshua's movement is absolutely abysmal. So I don't know if it was his coach who suggested he should take the style, whether it was him, whoever it was, they need to be fired. Um, I actually think usually it's very reactionary for people to say that right after a loss that someone needs to change their trainer, but I really feel like it's definitely the case here, as the game plan was all wrong. It was all wrong. I think besides the game plan, I really feel like Joshua had lost this fight before he had even came into the ring. You could see something was off with Team AJ from the delay of coming out of his dressing room to the ring walk and to the way he was acting in the ring. You could tell he was very anxious, very nervous, and you can't blame him. It's out of his comfort zone. It's out of the comfort of England. It's out of the comfort of everyone in the country supporting you. It's out of the comfort of having your own referee, having the commission on the palm of your hand, and it's out of the comfort zone of everyone you see supporting you. There were a lot of Andy Ruiz Jr. fans uh, in the garden last night, and this is not usually the case for Joshua's opponents. They're usually outnumbered. Well, the fans of the opposition who come are usually just the family members of the opponent. So I feel like all this added together made Anthony Joshua anxious, and you could see it in his boxing. He was very reckless in this fight, and I think that came from the anxiety of the environment that he was in. I think from the first bell, you could see where this fight was going. This is just one capture of Ruiz laying down his game plan. As you can see, both the leading feet of Ruiz and Joshua are almost parallel, and I think Ruiz might be one of the best in the business at doing this. He creates this fake pressure with his front foot counterpunch style. with this fake pressure, he makes his opponent think, in this case Joshua, that he is actually going to throw something. This makes Joshua nervous and even more anxious than he already is, and makes him throw first. Then Ruiz uses this, slips, and counters. With AJ's lead hand down already, he was very easy to hit. Very, very easy to hit. And I think the stats showed after the fight that Ruiz had outlanded Joshua in every department. And this is down to Ruiz's style. You have to give him every credit in the world. Every credit in the world. So round 1 and round 2 was just both fighters feeling each other out. It was very close. I gave round 1 to Ruiz and round 2 to Anthony Joshua. Round 3 is where it really spiced up. Joshua caught Ruiz with the big right hand and I think hit him with a left hook and down went Ruiz. The most important part of this, though, is that the fact that Ruiz did not lose his legs. And this is where Joshua made his mistake. Ruiz was still strong. Don't get me wrong, he was hurt, but he was not out of there and he was not ready to be taken out. And Joshua went in very, very recklessly after this. It was the weight of the occasion, I think. I think usually Josh was very measured and a very good finisher, as everyone says. But last night he just wanted it over as quick as possible, and Andy Ruiz almost made his wish come true, as Ruiz came back off the canvas to then put Joshua on the floor, and Ruiz caught him with the left hook that has been troubling Joshua ever since the amateur days. We saw in the Dylan White fight that he's very susceptible to being clocked on the chin by this left hook, and this is exactly what happened. Whilst I was watching this fight, I did think to myself, why isn't Ruiz putting his foot on the gas here? I mean, when the champion is on the floor and you have him hurt, me personally, I think you have to capitalize on that moment. I mean, obviously Ruiz still pulled it off in the end, but I thought Ruiz might have been making a mistake. He did actually, at the end of the round, put Joshua down again, and the bell did save Joshua. But that's just my one criticism of Ruiz. Everything else was perfect. I actually do think that, considering that Joshua did go down at the end of round 3, that if he had stepped his foot on the gas earlier, he could have actually got him out of there in round 3 and not given him a chance to recover. But yeah. So rounds 4, 5, and 6 were a bit similar to round 1 and 2. I think both men were gassed. I think Joshua more so than Ruiz, which is surprising considering the conditioning of both men. I think you have to give credit to Ruiz again. He was going to the body a lot. He was using his height to his advantage, going to the body, then going upstairs. I think the body shots are really what took it out of AJ. And AJ just really couldn't. He couldn't seem to get his breath back. I noticed in round 2 he was actually, even before he was hurt, he was breathing out of his gum shield. I think that's very worrying. I mean, Joshua's stamina has always been suspect, but he has never gassed this early before. And I think that's just a testament to how good Ruiz was on the night. So get to round 7 and Joshua goes down again. It was a great combination by Andy Ruiz. There's nothing more you can say really. Ruiz was just excellent. Then Joshua got off the canvas again, and again the referee gave him every chance to get back into the fight, which I wouldn't have done. But the American referees are very good in that respect. British referees always tend to end the fight early, but credits where credits due. Um, the ref tried to help Anthony Joshua in every way he could. Joshua then went down again, spat out his gum shield. I think from then it was over. He did not want any more. He did not want any more. He may as well have screamed "no mas," um, and the ref stopped it. I think it was a very good stoppage as well. So Ruiz becomes the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world. Joshua and Hearn did say after the fight they will exercise the rematch clause. I think it would be a mistake for Ruiz to take that fight in the UK. As we saw in the Joshua and Parker fight, the ref did not allow Parker to get on the inside. I think now we can see why. Because like Ruiz, Parker was also a lot quicker, had a lot quicker hand speed than Anthony Joshua. I think he would have got exposed that night like he did in this fight if there had been a fairer referee. I do think it'd be a mistake for Ruiz to go to England because of this. However, even if the fight is in England, even with a referee who's will be heavily biased to Joshua, I do think that Ruiz will. I just think the result will be the same because it's just a style. Um, the style of Andy Ruiz and the deficiencies of Anthony Joshua just play into Ruiz's hands. Joshua isn't nimble on his feet, has no head movement. Um, his defense isn't the best, so this just plays into Andy Ruiz's hands. I mean, of course, Andy Ruiz did go down in this fight, so there is a chance that in the rematch, AJ could get him out of there. There's no dispute in that. But if I was to look at it percentage wise, I'd say it's 60. Actually, I'd say it's 70-30 in favour of Andy Ruiz. Deontay Wilder must be staying at home thinking he should have taken this fight. And believe me, if Wilder had taken this fight, Joshua would have not got up off the canvas. Um, yeah, so that's my analysis done. Like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below. What did you think of this fight? Will Joshua win the next match? Or the rematch, sorry? Or will Ruiz repeat the masterclass he put on in this fight? Peace.